Where'd you go in Europe this summer?
So after Paris, I actually met Murph again.
Did you?
Yeah.
U16s?
Crete. And then.
Our guy was there. Maz was there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw him up in the stands. Yeah. But I don't. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it was fun.
Mike Watterson, Syracuse Post Standard. Welcome to the league.
Thank you. Great to be here. I was up in your neck of the woods recruiting, a little while ago. I can't say who. It was not Syracuse. It was a smaller school in the area.
Okay.
So that probably tells you, but
So welcome to the ACC.
Cal, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you.
I was going to ask, I asked Kyle Smith the same question. Are you worried about the impact of the extended travel on the athletes, and have you thought about ways like how you're going to handle the travel?
No question, the travel is an issue. It's a big issue, and we've looked at it from day one. We're going to be traveling. We're going to have access to tutors for our players. Whether we travel a tutor or whether we bring a local tutor on the ground in. And we're working with compliance to have those things figured out. We will likely come out 2 days early for almost every game on the East Coast. We'll have all the academic resources. We've consulted with kind of sleep experts, to figure out the best sleep patterns coming across 3 time zones. So we're trying to do everything to prepare for it.
And then in terms of when you travel, you'll be playing 2 games. This having been in the Pac-12 where that was the norm, you travel, you play 2, does that give you a leg up on how to handle the in-between there?
It's crazily, even the Pac-12 last year wasn't always travel and play 2. And so even they had kind of done 1 and 1 at times. But in general, yes, that does prepare us. But the greatest issue, I think, for me is the distance.
Do you feel like it's a little more like an NBA schedule now?
Well, I mean, the better thing about the NBA is when you go east, you play 5 or 6 games. Here, like when we were joining the ACC, I said to our ID, tell them we'll come out, but let us play 4 games. Mm-hmm. But then I'm thinking, they don't want that. They want us to have to travel. They don't want to give us an unfair advantage. And so it is what it is. And we're going to live with it. And we're going to win a lot of games on the road.
I mean, in the NBA, I know one of the big things is like sleep science.
Yeah.
Is that part of how you're going to have to deal with this, or are you guys putting anything into that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like when I said sleep expert, it's actually like sleep scientists.
Yeah.
That level of expertise, it gets very complicated very fast. And so we basically told them, give us the basics, give us the stuff that we can implement from day one. And so we're trying to.
So this is going to be your second year, and now you're going to a new conference. What kind of adjustments you got to make?
Well, we've studied the ACC a lot of the summer. We've studied the teams in the ACC. I don't have a great feel for the officiating yet in the ACC, but we've studied styles of play already. And so we want to be as prepared as possible. There's only so many hours in the day, but preparation is going to be one area where we do not want to be lacking.
The travel challenges aside, I remember seeing you at spring meetings at Amelia. You're taking selfies with all the ACC coaches. You just seem so genuinely enthused to be in the league. Is that a campus-wide thing? Is that Mark Madsen just geeking out on being in ACC basketball?
Look, when I was coming out in high school, I wanted to go to Duke. And so I called my brother-in-law, who had a connection to a former Duke player, who called Coach K or got a message to Coach K. They said no. Now, my senior year, we smacked Duke in the Madison Square Garden in overtime, so they can take that. But a lot of people want to go to Duke. They want to go to North Carolina. People can argue. I believe the ACC is the best basketball conference in the country. This can be argued. I understand it. I understand that. Yes, the ACC did not have the total number of NCAA bids last year, but look how far they go in the tournament. I don't think there's a conference that goes further than the ACC. So that's appealing to me because now I can recruit to that. It's appealing that when we recruit, we sell the players on basketball. But then players say, well, what's the marketing plan? Well, the marketing plan is simple. They're going to have the West Coast covered between San Francisco, LA, and Seattle, and the media contacts that we have there. And now they're going to have all the exposure on the East Coast. So for me, I really looked at it as this is an awesome opportunity.
How did the Stanford people take you being at Cal last year? How did that How did that go?
You know, when I took the Cal job, Dan, I'm on a thread with, I don't know how many of us are on there. I don't know if it's 50 or 150, but there's a lot of us on there. And when I took the job, it was nothing but congratulations. Now, it was also, hey, 2 games a year, we are not cheering for you. but all the basketball alums have been great. The alums in the community have been great. Look, there's a lot of back and forth with a lot of coaches between Cal and Stanford, as you know.
Coach Montgomery.
Yeah, Coach Montgomery, the current Stanford football coach, played football at Cal, and so there's a lot of that, and it's a tremendous rivalry. It's an awesome rivalry.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably good that you get to keep it, even though you're, changing conferences and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it is cool. My only gripe is this: when we get our Stanford home game, it's in December. And it's not the ideal time for us because our students are going to be thinking about midterms. I mean, I want a packed house in January at our place, but hey, you live with it.
What about that meme I saw last year with you kind of riding the BART and stuff? That really took off. What was that all about?
I don't know why it took off. I take the BART all the time. It's the job of head coach now is different than in 2000. I got to raise NIL money. I got to recruit. I got a practice plan. I have a wife and kids, and so there's only so many hours in the day. So BART is my time to hopefully find a seat and send a few text messages, watch a little bit of film. If I can get 20 minutes of film on on the BART or the bus, because I take the bus too at times, and then I'm on there with the students, and some of the students are like, they're starting to say, "Hey, good luck this season," and so it's fun. But I do it selfishly to get stuff done.
Mark, kind of the transfer portal's taken off over these last couple of years and everything. How do you find yourself with your roster between retention, between transfer portal, high school kids and stuff? What's the optimal way to kind of build a roster? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's good to see you from On 3. I appreciate your player evaluations that you guys do.
That's me, so I appreciate that.
Really, yeah. Look, roster construction and roster composition is something we look at very seriously. The challenge for us is that there's potential. Every school has a scary potential to almost have an entirely new roster every year, at the worst. And that's just a reality that you have to live with. If your NIL pool dries up, you probably are going to have a new roster that year. And so, but roster composition and recruiting plays a huge role for what we do. We recruit to our system, but at times we also recruit to best player available because of the resource gap between programs. And so that presents a challenge, but it's an exciting challenge. We go to a lot of different NBA training camps every year, getting new ideas, seeing where the game is. The game continues to change. It's shocking to me how much the game changes. It's shocking, even in the last 5 years.
Speaking of the portal, I was curious, Rodney Brown's at Virginia Tech now. What did you see him in the recruiting process that kind of made you think he's major conference potential there?
Rodney Brown he's a great player. Rodney Brown is an elite shooter. He's a great decision maker, and I think they got a steal with him.
Kind of expanding on the roster composition thing and all that. Optimally, I know this is year one. Some things. What optimally are you looking at? Kind of, like two freshmen a year, older.
Here are the things we look at. I mean, for the last 3 to 5 years, there's been an extra cohort of players sloshing around in the portal because of the extra COVID year. And so now that extra group of players is gone. In most cases, it's gone. Maybe there's a double redshirt situation. But so now we want to look at a few more high schools, and I think the portal, there's going to be even more competition in the portal because there's less numbers of players. And so we look at it as a year-by-year basis with an emphasis on trying to recruit young players and retain young players.
Sorry if you've been asked this already. I know realignment